from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Miss Black Diamond, and I hope you guys missed me and I hope you're ready for a good episode today. So, before we get into the episode, let's do our midweek, midday check in.
What's going on? What's happening? Time for the midweek check-in. What's going on? What's happening? Time for the midweek check-in.
Right, so what have I been up to since I talked to you guys last? Let's see. So I did celebrate Father's Day with my significant other and our children with our blended family. I ended up getting him a cake sample because he is a cake connoisseur. He loves cakes and sweets and things like that. So I decided to get him a cake sample for Father's Day. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the episode with the spotlight on a small business that I'm going to do today. Also, my third EP album is now complete. I have finished writing all the songs. The album is definitely giving summer vibes. That is scheduled to be released this month. I don't know exact date yet because I'm still working on the last finishing parts of the album, but Writing on the Wall, I think is definitely my best work yet. Just from some of the feedback that I've gotten so far from the samples of songs I've posted on social media, people are definitely vibing and ready for this new album release. If you're ever looking for a songwriter, definitely hit me up. I am not a singer or rapper by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel like the skills are there for writing music. The talent for just singing has never been there. And lastly, let's see. This week at work, I will be bringing some empowerment to the workplace. So, I'll be hosting another one of our team meetings this week. And this week, I'm going to be presenting on empowerment and how to keep employees empowered and, eager to do their job. And so I have some good activities, engagement, things that I'm putting together when I do host a team meeting this week. So outside of that, I have still been, binge watching my haves and the have-nots. It's getting really, really good. I don't have much time off with everything that I do, but when I do get that little sliver of time, that's kind of like my self-care. I like to check out an episode or two. And yeah, it's good. It's definitely drama, good, but I'm enjoying it. So that is my check-in for this week. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed getting to hear some of my updates and what I have going on. So today's episode is all about achieving goals and chasing dreams. So, what did you dream of becoming when you were a child? What were your dreams? Have you been able to achieve those dreams? And if not, why haven't you been able to? And if so, how have you been able to? So, for me as a child, I had three dreams in particular that I wanted to achieve. I've always wanted to be a licensed cosmetologist and own my own hair salon. I always wanted to be an author and poet, and I always wanted to be a songwriter. So, out of those three childhood dreams that I did have, I've been able to accomplish two out of the three. Now, of course, for very, I wouldn't say suitable reasons, but as a kid, before losing my sight, my dream has always been to own my own hair salon. Like, I fell in love with doing hair from the age of 4 when my cousin taught me how to braid on a Barbie doll. And from then on, I taught myself everything else there was to know about hair, to the point that when I was 11, my mom finally just started letting me do my own hair because she got tired of me taking out my hair from how she would fix it. And I would, do it the way I wanted it because I felt like she didn't put in effort. She didn't do what I wanted my hair to look like. So at the age of 11, she gave that responsibility to me to maintain my own hair. And I loved it, of course. Um, and then from then, that responsibility, went on to also doing my sister's hair. So doing hair in the household became my responsibility. And then when my brothers started growing out their hair, I would keep their hair maintained. So I was the in-house, hairstylist from that point on, from the age of 11 on. And so I taught myself everything there was to know about doing hair, how to, mix relaxers, dyes, how to braid with extensions, how to, do sew-ins, quick weaves. I taught myself all of these things. And when I went blind at the age of 15, I thought that there was no way I would ever still be able to do hair. And to my surprise, I still have that talent. So in a sense, I'm living that dream, but in a sense, I'm not. I knew, as an adult, once I became an adult, that society would never allow me to be able to achieve that dream. The doubts would be there, because just in general, people just believe blind people aren't able and are capable of doing much of anything besides just existing. And that's a false narrative. Um, Things have progressed and changed so much that we as blind and visually impaired people are able to do a whole lot more than people give us credit for. But because of society's backwards thinking, they would never let a blind or visually impaired person actually express the potential that they have to be able to achieve whatever dreams that they do have. So my dream of owning my own hair salon, fell on the back burner. I was like, people are never going to allow me to do this. They're never going to allow me to actually go sit in a cosmetology class and get my license. So I'm like, okay, um, it's not going to happen. I don't feel like stressing myself trying to force people to see me. So I let that go as far as that being one of my entrepreneurial goals that I wanted to accomplish. Now I still did hair. That never stopped. And I've been doing hair, ever since. I've had, personal clients that I've done their hair. I've had family members have me do their hair. I even do my children's hair. Um, my son and my two daughters. So I keep their hair maintained. So doing hair has never been something I've stopped. I've just never been able to accomplish that dream of actually being a licensed cosmetologist. And then I also found that I wouldn't be able to particularly just get my license in braiding because that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to color hair. I didn't want to makeup or eyelashes or none of that. I just wanted to just get my license in braiding. And I just didn't want to have to fight to be seen and to be acknowledged and to have that opportunity. So I kind of just let that go as a profession. And like I said, I still do it, but I'm not doing it, as a profession like I wanted to. And so my second dream, um, is that I've always wanted to be an author. Now, that is one dream I've been able to accomplish 10 times over. Um, I'm actually working on publishing book number 15, um, Braille's Superpower, which would be my fifth children's book. I know I mentioned before that it was my fourth, but yeah, it's actually my fifth children's book. Um, and so I'm excited about that. My illustrator, she's currently working on the illustrations for the book. Book is already written. We're just working on that part and formatting, but I'm excited about that. And I have been writing since the age of 11. And I went through a lot in my life. And some of you who've listened to previous episodes, like the Breaking the Cycle, where I talk about the child abuse I went through as a child that led to me becoming blind, or the Mental May I, where we talk about mental health and just some of the things. And I'll go more deeper into some of the other things that I've experienced as well in later episodes, because that's what this podcast is all about: empowerment, sharing my story, helping those of you who may be going through the same things that I've been through to get through them. And so being an author was another dream of mine. And I've been able to accomplish that. Like as a child, I wrote, writing was therapy for me. It was my way out. Reading and writing was my way out of my true reality. So I got to engross myself in fictional characters and fictional scenarios and stories, and, wishing that these scenarios and stories were actually my life instead of the life I was actually living. So writing really became that outlet that I needed. And so I wrote, and my fifth grade teacher, Miss Thornton, I don't know if she's still living. I've tried finding her, but there's so many, Amelia Thorntons out there. So I'm not sure exactly where she is and if she's still alive today, but I would have to say she was my biggest supporter during this time, and she really encouraged me to pursue writing as a career, into adulthood. She was like, I just really feel like you have a natural talent for writing, and I want you to pursue this. I always aced English. Like, English was always my most subject in school, my most favorite subject in school. Just anything dealing with creative writing, like I aced it. And I took lots of creative writing classes and things like that. Also, before becoming blind, I was also artistically gifted. So I feel like creativity and being just a natural creative have always been just in my DNA and my genes. It's just always been a part of me. And so that dream, of course, of being an artist, that went out the window once I became blind. But anyway, so I wrote off and on, throughout the years, and I don't know why. It's just in 2015, 2016, I just started to finally, I would write things and just keep them. And something just kept nagging at me to start showcasing my work, start, letting people see what I do and what I write, and just see, what people think, because it's okay to like your own work and think your own work is awesome and it's great and everything, but it's another thing to get that feedback and get that, response from other people. So I decided to start posting snippets of my work on Instagram and Facebook. And so I started doing that, and just like the feedback that I got from people was like amazing. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, like you need to write a book and you need to do," and I'm just like, "Wow. Like people really actually like what I write?" And it just opened up a whole new world for me, the possibility that my childhood dream of becoming an author could be possible. And so after that, I ended up joining like a lot of like author groups and different things like that, and started, just trying to see what I could do to, get my work out there. And I also do a separate episode on this subject as well. Because I have had people, come and ask, how do I get started? How do I make the decision whether or not I want to be traditionally or self-published? So I don't want to get too deep into, that because that is going to be in a later episode. Um, but I decided to go the self-publishing route. And so I saw a calling for submissions for aspiring poets for a book. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write some poems and I'm going to submit them. So I did. I wrote 4 poems, and 3 out of the 4 poems that I wrote were selected to appear in the book. And so that's where I got my first publication, my work for people to actually read. So there was no, money or anything gained from this. I didn't have to pay anything. I didn't, earn any, royalties or anything from selling of the book. This was specifically to help those of us who aspired to be authors and poets. And so I took that opportunity and I jumped on it. And so from then on, I started publishing in um, disability related, free publications, free online magazines, things like that, just trying to get my work kind of more seen. And then once I did that, I decided, you know what, it's time. I did my research. I found out what avenue I wanted to go through for, publishing, and I decided to go self-publishing. So I wrote my first novel and I published it in 2017. And so from then on, I've published 14 books on my own. I've co-authored 14 books with other talented authors, and now I'm working on publishing book number 15. And I've done all of this on my own. No help from anyone, no support from anyone, just me and my brains and my technology that helps me and allows me to write, and money to pay for the things that I need done to help me achieve this childhood dream of mine. And I've been able to achieve it. Now, when I first went blind, I thought that dream was dashed along with any other dreams I had because I can't see. How am I going to write a book? But once I learned Braille and I learned how to use a computer with text-to-speech software called JAWS, NVDA, VoiceOver, all the different, um, assistive technology that's out there for computers, I realized that my dream of becoming an author and a poet was still possible. And so to this date, no, I'm not a New York's best time selling author, but I am an award-winning author. So 2 of my children's books have won awards, and one of my poetry collections have won awards. So in 2024, my second poetry collection, Lyrics of Love, won first place in a contest. And then my first and I think this was fourth children's books won my Poetry for Tots won first place. No, I'm sorry, second place in a children's book competition. And then my I Can Be book one won third place in a children's book competition. So achieving the goal of becoming an author and a poet, check. I did that. And I did that off the strength of myself and pushing myself. I didn't have anybody in my ear encouraging me to go after my dreams. I had a dream and I knew that I would be the one to have to make that dream possible because I've never had the support of anyone. No family members, no parents, nobody. Anything I've ever wanted to do, I knew I had to be the one to put the battery in my back in order to make it happen. So my next dream has always been to be a songwriter. So I've never had the talent of singing, rapping, none of that. But as a child, Missy Elliott was like my favorite artist. My brothers and I, we would write music. Now, my brothers, they wanted to be rappers. My youngest brother, he was a fan of 50 Cent. So he would walk around the house, teeth clenched, after 50 Cent got shot. And basically, he wanted to be 50 Cent. Uh, and so my older brother, I can't really remember who he I wanted to be, but I know we all wanted to be rappers. And like my name was going to be Little B, and I was going to be the next Missy Elliott. I don't know why Missy Elliott, but I don't know. It was just something about her I just loved. And so, no, I would write my music and I would, rap and everything. And it was always so funny because I was always so small and my voice was always so high pitched and it just yeah, I just knew that was never going to work as far as me becoming a rapper. So after I went blind at 15, I was like, okay, time to put that dream on the back burner. But, the dream of being a songwriter was still there. I still had the same thing about when I went blind, like, okay, how am I going to be a songwriter? I can't see, like, I can't write. So once, of course, the whole Braille and learning how to use the computer, I'm like, okay, I still can be a songwriter. It doesn't require me to be able to see to do this. So I wrote, songs year after year after year and just kind of let them sit on my computer, new computer, all the files would move with me. And then finally, 2024, I discovered AI. And I had always, wanted, I know there was this one opportunity a few years ago where I was posting like snippets of my poetry, like on my social media. And I was contacted by a band. I'm not sure who the band is. I don't know if they're well known or who it is, but they saw my poetry and they were like, "Oh, we would love for you to write a song for us." And I was just like, I don't write music anymore. I'm not a songwriter anymore." And they were like, "Oh, okay." And so that was kind of like the end of that. And then it was like later on, like maybe months later, and I was talking to someone about the situation. And I'm like, yeah, this band reached out to me and wanted me to write a song for them. And I was just like, I turned them down because I said, I don't write music anymore. I don't, I'm a poet. Like I don't write music anymore. And they were like, you do know that writing poetry is writing music, right? And it was like, as smart as I am, at that time, it did not even dawn on me that they were basically the same thing. And I was like, I felt so dumb afterwards. And I could have reached back out to them, but I was like, you know what? No, the opportunity has passed. I don't want to seem desperate. I'm not going to reach back out to them. I turned them down because of my ignorance and wasn't really thinking. But you know what? I'm never going to let myself be in a situation like that again where I miss an opportunity. So I decided to try to find ways to basically bring my lyrics to life that I've been writing for years. So at first I was looking into, having someone do the vocals for me. I was purchasing, beats from, audio engineers and music producers and just having a collection of beats. And then I'm like, okay, I have the lyrics, I have the beats. Now who's going to do the vocals? So I'm, looking on sites and, I knew friends that, could sing and things like that, but I'm like, I don't have the money to pay nobody to like put vocals to these beats I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen. So I ended up finding out about an app called Suno AI. And I'm like, okay, okay. So I decided to just take my first song I ever wrote was called Body to Body. And so I did a Body to Body 2.0 actually for my new Writing on the Wall album, but I digress. And so I was like, you know what? I want to see what happens when I just upload my lyrics. I upload this beat. I want to see what this app creates. And so I did. And I was like so just blown away that literally it sounded like a real person, like a real artist, a real singer. And I'm like, wow, I can actually achieve my dream of becoming a songwriter. So from then on, that is how I've been basically compiling my music to a portfolio, because that was another thing. I was like, okay, I can write music all day long, but how are people going to be able to hear my music, to see what type of songwriter I am? I really did a lot of research. I was looking online, how much should you charge for lyrics, and how to, showcase your lyrics. And I was just looking up all kinds of stuff on how to be a lyricist slash songwriter. And I always just kept seeing combinations. Oh, singer songwriter, or someone who actually, a melody. And so I was like, I don't know how to do anything. I just know how to write the words, the lyrics. Like, that's what I want to figure out, how I can get it out there. And so, yes, AI is my platform. That's my way of showcasing my lyrics ability. So, and I'm always honest with people and let them know, nope, the vocals are not me. I cannot take credit for the vocals. It is AI generated, but the music and the words, they are me. I've paid for the beats and the music from, producers, and these are my own lyrics. So, and I'll also do a later episode on this as well, just showing the process of how I do it. But it takes a lot of editing before I am happy with the finished song. Like, it takes a lot of editing, a lot of renditions, a lot of redoing, it isn't just, oh, you slap some words in there, hit create, bam, you have a song. I mean, yes, people do that, but I'm a perfectionist about what I do, and I take my talents very seriously. So I put a lot of work and effort into what I do. And so the feedback that I've been getting from people about my songs, they're just like, "Oh wow, like I love the words, the vote. You chose the right vocals, you chose the right beat. Like, I love this." And my goal for this is to use AI as a tool to help me get writing gigs for other people. To have someone be like, you know what, I like this song. Like, would you sell it to me so that I can create basically my own version, or for them to, do a cover of a song that I created? Like, that's my whole point in using AI to publish my music, so that it can get heard, it can get out there. And so I'm excited about this third EP album, coming out. And so basically those are three goals in life that I've had since I was a child. And like I said, out of the three, I've been able to make two out of the three happen. And I am so just excited about that. I just want those of you out there who do have dreams and goals, like, yes, they may change. They may not come out exactly the way that you want them to, but dreams and goals were meant to achieve. They're achievable. You just have to keep at it and keep working at it. And even if they change a little bit, keep at it. That doesn't mean you give up just because they change or they don't happen exactly the way you want them to. You just keep going. Like, you don't allow that to stop you. Like, there were so many times I could have given up on, publishing my books or doing my music, or, just doing anything that I've wanted to do, because of people telling me, oh, you're no good. You're never going to amount to anything. Like, that's all I heard growing up. And if I listened to that talk, I wouldn't be where I am today. But I chose to think differently. And I chose to use that negative and that negativity as a fuel to help me be successful, to help me achieve my dreams and goals. Because the only person that can really stop you from achieving your goals and dreams is yourself. If you allow people, circumstances, and situations to stop you. For me, as long as I have God in my life, There's nothing I can't do. They don't call me no limits for nothing because I have no limitations. If there's something out there I want to do, I find a way to go after it. Whether it means I got to take two turns to the left, a turn to the right, then go straight, then go backward, however I have to do it, I make it happen. Because what I do is for me and my family. I found a way to make my life successful that suits what I'm wanting for myself, not what anyone else thinks I should be doing. And so just to take a quick pause here, I want to, speaking of, dreams and goals and things like that. So I just wanted to give a special spotlight shout out to Kay's Sweets and Comforts. Like I said earlier in my check-in, this young lady, she's doing her thing. Miss Kimberly, she is the owner of Kay's Sweets and Comforts, and she's achieving her goal, her childhood goal of and dream of producing sweets and bakery treats, foods, plates, all kinds of things for those of you out there who love to eat. So for Father's Day, she is the company that I used to get my significant other his plate or his sample cakes for Father's Day. And so all of the flavors just sounded so good. So I couldn't choose which one I actually wanted. So I asked her, I was like, okay, can I just get a sample like of all of the flavors, like so that he can taste them all? So that's what she did. So with my Father's Day, basically sample platter, I ended up with, let's see, it was like one slice of chocolate espresso. I ended up with two slices of cookies and cream. There was also a butter pecan. There was a maple bacon. And then there was also the peanut butter chocolate chip. So all of the ones out of the cake slices that we had, we both enjoyed the cookies and cream the most. Like it literally tasted like we were eating some Oreos without the milk. But oh my gosh, it was so good. So if you're looking for something sweet, something just, food is comfort. And the name speaks for itself, Kay's Sweets and Comfort. So I would definitely give her a ring if you are looking for, I mean, the packaging was phenomenal. Like we both loved how professional and well put together the packaging was. I placed my order on Wednesday, received it on Friday, and I was able to present it to him on Father's Day that Sunday. And so I had no complaints. Like everything was well done. Just the correspondence back and forth was very good, very professional. She's really doing her thing, and I'm very proud of her. So if any of you are looking for some sweets, some plates, I've even seen on her page now that she actually does plates. So if you're looking for either a place locally in Georgia where she's located. She's actually located in Riverdale, Georgia, but she also ships as well because I'm located in North Carolina. So I was able to get my package to me pretty quickly. And so she does ship nationally, and she also delivers locally. So if you're in the Riverdale, Georgia area, definitely hit her up. So if you want to contact her, the number is 318-505-7606. You can call or text to place your order. She has like bundt cakes, pound cakes, different flavors. You can definitely hit her up on all social media. She posts her menus. She is available on Facebook at Kay's Sweets and Comforts. She is available on TikTok and Instagram at Comforts and Sweets. So definitely hit Miss Kimberly up. Show her some love and definitely leave her a review if you do place an order because reviews help. Definitely, it helps get the word out there. It helps spread the love of, of some a small business, doing her thing. So I definitely just thank you so much, Miss Kimberly, for the great work you're doing. And I would say keep it up. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And just from the other people I've seen that have enjoyed your sweets and stuff, you're definitely doing your thing. All right, so we are about to end another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. But before I end, I also wanted to share some exciting news with you guys. So, I am all about empowerment and helping you guys see your potential and, just showing you that despite whatever you've been through, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So, guess what your girl is doing? I'm all about my achievements and my goals and my titles. So, guess what? All right. So I am getting my certification as a women's empowerment life coach. So I know I've been doing it for years, just naturally. I've always been the person that people come to, to talk about their problems, to talk about, what should they do in this situation or this or that. So now I'm making it official. I had been debating about it for years, and I just finally decided after having a conversation with my manager, she just called me, was just like, I just want to tell you, you are amazing. I just finished reading your book, Stolen Innocence, A Survivor's Journey to Freedom, and I just want you to know that you're amazing. She was like, I really enjoyed your book. I really enjoyed, I know you as a person, but just hearing some of what you've been through, I know this isn't it. Because it's definitely not. But just from what I've read so far, she was like, you are amazing. You are an inspiration. And she was like, I really think you need to be a life coach. And when I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been contemplating. I've been, wanted to start the process years ago, and then I don't know what made me just decide not to. But I said it's definitely been something that's been on my mind before." She's like, I really need you to do this." So, and then, so I started the process. I went, I looked at schools, I looked at programs. I was like, you know what? Okay, I found something that I like. And it's specifically for women's empowerment because that's what I love to do. I love to see my women win. I love to see you guys going out there chasing your dreams and goals and doing the things that make you happy. So now I'm going to be officially doing it as a life coach. So I'm going to also, start offering some bonus content for those of you who are my subscribers who follow. So there's going to be opportunities for you to subscribe to the podcast, to get some bonus material and one-on-one women's empowerment coaching. I'm also in the process of developing my first course, audio course for you ladies out there. So I have a lot of good things going on. I'm just excited. My manager also offered me an opportunity to come and speak at one of her shelters that she volunteers at for women of domestic violence, survivors of domestic violence, which you all know I've been through that as well. Another episode for another day, but yes, I'm excited for the doors that are opening for me. And I say all this to say that dreams are achievable. Goals are achievable. You just have to be willing to put in the work. They're not going to work on their own. I am living proof of it. I've never had anything handed to me. I've always had to work hard for everything that I have. No one can ever say, I gave her this opportunity. I helped her do this. I helped her do that. No, not saying that there's nothing wrong with having, because I would love to have had support and someone encouraging me, but I've gotten it on my own. Everything that I've achieved, I've done it on my own. So it is possible. I've done it. I'm proof of it. No, I'm not a millionaire. No, I'm not a billionaire. No, I'm not sitting on, this or that, but I'm successful in my own right. And your measure of success should not be measured against someone else's success. So what you see as success for yourself, someone else may not see it as successful, but I do. And so I just want to leave you guys with these words.
Here's this week's empowerment gem. Listen all month to collect all of them. Words of encouragement that push you to win, helping you to unlock the diamond from within.
Never stop going after your dreams. No matter how hard it seems, do not stop. Don't give up. Dreams were meant to achieve. So dream big and achieve bigger. Have a dream, have a goal, have something that you're willing to go after. And you don't have to start big, start small. If your goal is to lose 5 pounds in a month, start there. If your goal is to post one of your poems, post, a paragraph of something you're writing, post it. You don't have to go all out just to achieve a dream. If you're shy, post one video, one audio clip of you saying something. That's a start, and you build on that start. You don't have to go out and just go all full force and do everything at one time. Everything's a process, but in order for that process to begin, you have to start in the first place. So I want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of the BFF Empowerment Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all major podcasting platforms. Also, you can follow us on social media. We are available on Facebook at BFF Empowerment Podcast, Instagram at BFF Empowerment Podcast. We are also on Threads and YouTube at BFF Empowerment Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to leave a review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen. Reviews are definitely appreciated. Check out our website at bffempowermentpodcast.com. Also, if you have any topic ideas, you just want to say hi, you want to be a Women on the Rise spotlight on the BFF Empowerment Podcast, feel free to leave me a email at bffempowerment@gmail.com. And I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in.